Good morning. Good chilly Monday morning. Oh, it's not bad. It's 38 degrees after last week. That's nothing, right? I hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had a good Christmas. Hope you got to spend some time with friends and family. I worked and it was great. Yeah, I got some work done, but it was different. Let's just put it that way. But you know what? Christmas is in the heart, and that's what really counts. So that's what really matters. But I do hope you had time to spend with family. Saw lots of pictures on Facebook as I scrolled in just a time or two over the weekend, and everybody seemed to be having a good time with their families and kiddos and friends and all that. So that's awesome to see. That's great. That's good news, right? So I titled this morning's devotion "To Be Continued" because as I got up this morning, I was reading, praying, typical morning, finishing off my coffee. Oh, I've got one drink left, one sip left. I'll finish it in a second though. And I found myself in Isaiah, where am I? 63. There's a long story how I got there, but that's okay. But this scripture really stood out to me. And remember when you're reading, that's one of the things uh, that I've mentioned is that when you're reading and something stands out, just camp there. Just stay there. Read it 3 or 4 times, right? Because sometimes, I mean, come on, let's be real. We read a chapter sometimes in our mind somewhere else. We don't quite get it. Or we read, we're reading and our mind tends to wander. Or we're reading and it's like, we hear kind of like the voice on, what was the old Charlie Brown, the teacher, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes we feel that way because, especially if we're reading some of the Old Testament passages, we don't quite get it, right? It's okay. We didn't live there. There's no condemnation. There's no judgment. But sometimes we miss things because we don't really focus. We don't think. And so if you're reading along and something stands out, just stop and read it 2 or 3 times. Think about it. Meditate on it. You don't even have to read any further unless you're trying to read the Bible through in the year, which I got a couple of different ideas for my Bible reading program or plans for this year, and wanted to do a couple of different things. But anyway, so it's good to have that. But when a verse stands out, just camp there. It's okay. And that's what happened with me this morning. I was reading and I actually was actually in Ephesians, and something in Ephesians made me think of Isaiah 60. So I go, excuse me, over to Isaiah 60, and I'm reading 60, and I read all the way through some good stuff in there. But when I got to Isaiah 63, verse 7, I camped there because it stood out to me, right? It stood out. It says this: I will mention the loving kindnesses, plural, of the Lord and the praises of the Lord, according to all that the Lord has bestowed on us, and the great goodness toward the house of Israel, which he has bestowed on them according to his mercies, according to the multitude of his loving kindnesses. And I just stopped there because I was like, whoa, I'll mention the mercies of God. And New Living was in here, so I don't know why I read it. This is a New King James. It sounds a little wordy, but let's just break it down just a little bit. I'll mention the loving kindness of God. I'll mention the grace of God. I'll mention the mercies of God. I'll talk about his praises. I'll talk about the things that this New King James still uses old words, right? That he bestowed on us, that he gave to us, that he extended to us, that he said, here, you can have this mercy, you can have this grace. And I started thinking about this year, because this time of year, this last week, I'll spend a lot of time. I do 2 things on this last time of year. And it's not something I plan, it's just something I come to do, right? And one of the things I do is I look back on this year and look at God's threads of grace that have been woven into the year. Financial income that I didn't even expect and had no idea how it was going to happen. I knew it needed to happen. Things like that. Chris has been in the hospital a lot less the second half of this year. That's great, y'all. That's something for us, right? So he's healthier. He still has issues, but he's healthier. The therapy. So I started thinking about that he's going to get. And after the first of the year, he's going to go to 2 sessions a week. How exciting is that? And he's making progress with one. So I'm looking back at how God's threads of grace have interwoven into my life this year. And I have great joy. It's like, wow, God's been there, right? And then I take that and I also am looking forward to a new year. And, I know New Year's Day is no big deal, y'all. Ain't nothing going to change from the time you lay down right after midnight because you go, Happy New Year. Okay, I'm going to bed, right? And you're going to sleep at night. I don't know if I'll even stay up. I might. Yeah, I think I will. Anyway, but I know that it's just kind of that opportunity. There's nothing magical about it, but it's still we can use it as a new beginning. We can use it kind of as a launching pad into change and doing things. And so while I'm looking at the reflection of this year and reflecting back on this year, I should say it that way, I guess, and seeing His grace, seeing His mercies, seeing how He's just been in our lives and taking care of us like He's promised, had His peace, had His grace, had His mercy. And now I'm going into a new year and I'm going to be, I'm not, it's a good opportunity to kind of change some things. And so I've already started changing some things around here that I want to do and making some changes in myself and working on how I'm going to change my schedule a little bit. I want to be more productive with work too. I don't want it to be such a burden. I'm working on rearranging that and letting some clients go, and that hurts my feelings because I really am dedicated. I'm like all in for people, and but I need to let some go, and rearranging some things and thinking about what I want to do while I'm speaking. While I'm throw this plug in here, real quick, shameless plug, right? The link to my YouTube channel is in the description, and the link to my blog is in to my caregiver's blog is in the description. Now I have other things in the works for this year too, but those two things I know I'm going to be doing. Be doing a lot more on the YouTube channel as far as making videos and teaching, and I just stay tuned because I don't know. I got lots of ideas, and so I'm waiting for God to just go, this is where to start, right? So be doing some live classes here on Facebook and on YouTube, some just on YouTube, some just on Facebook. So I got some stuff going on both of those, and I'm going to continue the devotions for caregivers. I get messages quite frequently, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks, from caregivers who say, "Hey, I read this every morning, and it encourages them and things." And so those are two things I don't want to lay down. All right, so because I'm trying to look at what can I get rid of, right? That's a good thing to do sometimes. So in the middle of all this, I know that I'm reflecting on this year going, man, I've just seen God's grace. I've seen Him work in our lives. I've seen Him do things on my behalf, right? In terms of jobs and just provision and Chris, I'm just seeing Him work, and so I'm rejoicing in that. And I'm also looking forward to this new year. That may be backwards on the camera. I'm looking forward to the new year, right? And I'm thinking, you know what? I expect that same thread of grace to just continue to run through next year. God doesn't look up and go, oh, it's January 1st of 2023. Oh, I'm done. Yay, we finished a year. Okay, now what? No, his grace just continues. His mercy is on a continuum, and it's not going to stop for any clock, right? The clock doesn't matter to God. His mercy continues. Matter of fact, in Lamentations, it tells us that His mercies are new every single morning. We're not going to get up on January 1st and go, where did God's mercies go? Oh man, he forgot to reset for the new year, right? He forgot to reset his clock. He forgot to change to daylight savings time or to change back. No, it's not on our time. It's the time is changes for us, but nothing changes for God because God never changes. His love is still going to carry us. His mercy is still going to carry us. His thread of grace is going to still just be running through our lives, and it all hinges on this one thing, that I just turn to Him and go, God, I want your peace. I want you in my life. I want to understand your mercy more. I want to understand how you interact with us in 2022 in this weird world we live in, right? And when we do that, He meets us right there. He meets us in that moment. Sometimes we don't call on Him until we have a problem or we have a need. But He's just waiting to show us His mercy. He's just waiting to show us His love. He's just waiting for us to let His peace reign because He already gave all these things, and it's up to us. So this year, as you move from 2022 into 2023, just concentrate on looking for Him. Because when we look for Him, what happens? We find Him. The old term for that is seeking, right? Jeremiah 29. When you seek me, when you look for me, I will be found by you. That says, when you look, I'll be right there. That's what God says to us. When we set our heart to seek for Him, He'll be manifested, is that a good word, in our now, right? We can look in the past and go, man, I see his grace, I see his mercy, and I trust that in the future, his mercy and his grace, his love, his peace are all still going to be right here, but I'm going to look for him in my everyday. I don't want to just look back and see him. I want to see him today. I want to experience him today. I want to read his word today. I want to learn more about him today so that when I get into tomorrow, I got more grace. I can experience more grace. There's not more grace, but I can experience it more as I focus more on him and focus more on his grace, focus more on his mercy, right? So be on the lookout for his mercy working in your day today. Be on the lookout for those threads of grace. Look back over your year and think, where have I seen God's grace? Where did he bring answers to prayer? Where did he bring comfort when I needed it? Where did he bring help when I needed it? Because he's our help, right? Just spend some time thinking about this last year and then just dedicate yourself to trusting him more as we move forward into a new year for us. It's not a new year for God, just throw that out there, but it's a new year for us. We can look back and see what he's done, and we can anticipate more of the same as we keep moving. Why? Because he doesn't change, right? You guys have a great day. Peace out. I'll see you in the morning.